Hey, what's up YouTube? Well, before the sun gets any brighter, I would like to make a really quick video about a number of things. And since I'm also getting sleepy, we really need to make it fast. Okay, first of all, I would like to show on YouTube the fact that my cute little starfish necklace came in from Oceanwear. They're having a closing sale, meaning that a lot of their nautical themed stuff is on clearance, and how they knew I was into nautical themed stuff is anybody's guess, but I've been getting bombarded with their ads, for all kinds of cute little, ocean themed or beach themed jewelry. So anyway, I put my earrings on so that you'll know I'm not a boy. And I tried to make sense of my hair. I don't know why it looks different every day, but it's kind of in that awkward length where it's growing out. So it gets a little greasy if I don't wash it every night. But then if I do, it sometimes looks like I stuck my finger in a light socket, as my mom likes to point out. So anyway, what I'd like to talk about, while I still have any energy left whatsoever, I want to title this video Angelica Never Wore Panties. Okay, and as you can probably imagine, it'll just be a 50 billionth video about Angelica on Rugrats and how these stupid idiots, would like to deny what I'm saying. And I swear, I don't know why. They are just so dead set on believing that she is potty trained or that she got potty trained in Rugrats, despite her having never demonstrated that skill, not even to the extent that Chuckie did, and despite her having never pulled down her panties. I mean, here's a cute little cheerleader doll that reminded me of her. And I'll let her do her little cheer. So much better than an Angelica doll. She even has beautiful eyes. Okay, well, when in Rugrats history did Angelica ever do this? Okay, say, look at my panties. Here's proof that it isn't a diaper. Okay, when does she ever pull down her pants? Never. I mean, sure, they have episodes in movies where she changes her clothes, which, she does it probably as much as or more than any other character on the show. But when does she ever prove that she is wearing underwear as opposed to a diaper? And if you're so sure, okay, see, this is why I don't allow comments on my videos. If you are so sure that she did not drop a load in her pants, okay, if you believe that she did not crap her pants in the third movie or any other episode where I've said that she did, okay, you are going to have to provide me with a video response or somehow or another a scene in the movie in which she does this and says, look everybody, here's the inside of my undergarments. Her panties are diaper. I like to say panties, just because that's what normal girls wear at 3 years old. Okay, look everybody, here's the inside of my panties. Here's my butt. It's clean, okay? When does Nigel ever make all the kids pull down their pants like that teacher that got in trouble, believe it or not, in Texas? Okay, parents were all up in arms. And I mean, if I want to laugh, all I have to do is think about that story from a few years back where, get a load of this, there was a school right here in Texas, and the teacher kept finding poop on the gym floor. And so basically, she decided to divide the kids in half. All the boys would go to the male coach and all the girls would go to the female coach and pull down their pants and have their underwear checked. Well, why they had to check the girls, I'm not exactly sure. But, they just made all the kids get an underwear check. And the parents were up in arms about this because they said that's a violation of my child's privacy. And I guess to an extent they're right, But at the same time, I mean, what are you supposed to do when you literally find SH on the floor every day in the gym, at a certain time of day? What are you left to assume, And it was like, what was happening was somehow or another, one of the kids, and this is very common, in children with that awful condition called encapricis, which I've talked about so much on here, when they literally crap their pants without feeling it because they're so used to holding themselves that they get constipated and they no longer feel the urge unless it's severe and they don't feel it in time to get to the bathroom. Okay, well, children with that condition often do not realize that they're crapping their pants. And if it's constipated, and they're wearing like boxer shorts and loose-fitting pants, well, it can run right down their legs and fall out and barely make a stain. You know what I'm saying? So really, the teacher had every right to suspect that one of the kids was pooping in their pants. This was an elementary school, and that condition is most common in children from potty training until puberty. Okay, so I definitely believe that one of the kids was probably pooping in their pants, but whether or not they found out who it was is another story because how do you really know? But the parents were up in arms about it, and I can understand that too, but that's what happens when you have kids who crap their pants but they won't admit to it, and it inconveniences everyone. It's very inconvenient to live in a house with a child like that. It's very stressful to be the parent of a child like that, and the teachers were unfortunately involved with that because it happened at school. Okay, so like I say, while I do understand that would be a violation of their privacy, what else are you going to do if the kids won't fess up to it? And so all these idiots that want to gaslight me and say that she didn't poop in her pants, not a single one of them can show me a scene in the movie where the kids all do this. Or, I'm not saying, like I say, I'm not saying that they should. Yes, the younger kids pull down their diapers, okay, but that's the beginning of the movie, okay, and it just really makes me mad because it's like, all these people wanting to say, no, she didn't poop her pants, it was Tommy. Okay, that's about as ridiculous. You see, and like I've stated before, it's not that I don't think Tommy did it or that, I think she's the only one. It's that it only matters that she did it. You know what I'm saying? That would be like, let's say I were to rip off my shirt and go in the apartment pool out there and go swimming without a shirt. Okay? And in walks a police through the swimming pool gate and says, ma'am, you're under arrest for indecent exposure. Okay, and let's say I were to point to some fat guy in the pool that has man boobs and say, no, officer, I wasn't swimming without a shirt. That guy was. Okay, and that would be ridiculous. It's like, why don't you arrest him? He's swimming without a shirt, and look at all those boys in the pool as well. Look at that 5-year-old jumping in the pool without a shirt. Okay, that represents Dill. So that would be really stupid, for me to say, no, you can't arrest me, or you can't say that I was indecently exposing my body because someone who has the right to do so, it's called P-word privilege, someone who has every right to go without a shirt and has all their lives is doing it, therefore I'm not doing it, or I don't deserve to be arrested. You know what I'm saying? That's about the equivalent. It's the symbolic meaning, okay? Saying, no, Angelica didn't poop in her pants, Tommy did it, would be like me ripping off my shirt and going swim in the pool and saying, no, officer, I wasn't swimming without a shirt. That guy over there is swimming without a shirt. Okay, be that as it may, I'm the one committing indecent exposure because I have certain body parts that he doesn't have or isn't recognized as having, by technicality. And the kids, the same thing. They're boys. They're allowed to go without a shirt. I'm not because I'm a woman. Okay, that's exactly how I feel about Angelica pooping her pants in the third movie and in perhaps a few other episodes. So, back to what I was saying, Angelica, I do not believe ever wore panties. Okay, it has never been proven that she wore panties. And what I believe happened was in season 1, she was wearing a white diaper with blue leggings. Okay, and what that means is they were tubes that did not cover her butt. Okay, and from season 2 onward, they changed those leggings or they didn't really change her leggings, but instead of a white diaper cover, they made it blue so that it would look like a pair of pants, one solid garment, okay? But they still look puffy like a diaper. So I'm not convinced that she wasn't wearing diapers or training pants, which are pretty much the same thing, all throughout Rugrats history, okay? So unless and until she pulls down her pants, or you show me an episode in the original run where she pulls down her pants to prove that they're not a diaper, I will believe that she wore diapers and pooped in them all the time, okay? Because I just do not believe, that a potty-trained character would have undergarments that are as puffy as hers, or, the fact that she seemed not to know what the toilet was used for is another red flag. Okay? They never show her actually using the toilet, and they never even show her pulling down her pants for that matter. Okay, so I'm not convinced she ever wore panties. And another thing I would like to say is I think I'll have a very hard time, wanting to get Paramount Plus and experience the reboot and whatnot. Because, and I was thinking about this. I hope this won't make the video too long. But, it just really makes me mad. That people think so highly of the Rugrats, and not one person is woke like I am. Not one person sees the forest for the trees, okay? And when I think about the Rugrats and how so many people will adamantly defend them, and the only thing that keeps me from trying to list my Rugrat dolls and get money for them is the fact that without that Angelica doll, I wouldn't have a single solitary doll that was given to me as a junior high student, and that's an OCD thing with me. I would be getting rid of the one and only doll that I had as a junior high student, okay? There was like at least 4 years that I didn't get any dolls whatsoever because I wanted to be a boy. I was past being given them as a child, but then I hadn't started buying them for myself. That came later. Okay, so I was in that intermediate period of time, and the only doll that I really got as a junior high student was my Angelica Pickles doll. Okay, and that's very special. So anyway, it really makes me mad to know how highly the Rugrats are valued, both monetarily and in the hearts and minds of the fans. Because when I think about how there are just much prettier dolls for only $1 at Family Dollar, Dollar General. This is called the Imagine Angel, and it's just a glorified, lovely Patsy type Kelly doll. Okay, and for $1, you can have a beautiful little doll. Look how pretty her eyes are. Okay, look how pretty the dress is. To me, that is a lot prettier than the Rugrats characters. Okay, and if you could order them directly from China or like all these other countries, you could get them pretty cheap as well. Okay, they're a lot prettier than the characters on Rugrats. I mean, look how human that looks. Okay, but these Rugrat character dolls have simple eyes that are a circle with a black dot, and they have no lip color, but yet they go for at least $5 a doll, and that's if they're in pretty bad shape. I mean, some people are asking $50 or more for a complete set of Rugrats from way back in the day. And I know that if they come out with merchandise featuring the characters, which is pretty much the only value that the new series could possibly have with me, I know it's probably not going to be as cheap as these beautiful dolls. Okay, so, and that really infuriates me when I think about it, how they've really found a way to sell something so ugly and disturbing and disgusting. They found a way to market something, and I bet they were all just laughing all the way to the bank way back in the 90s about how people were just buying these ugly trash characters, like they were worth their weight in gold. Okay, you couldn't get away from them. They had Rugrat stuff everywhere. Okay, but when I was just thinking about that, and how what the difference though is between these dolls and the Rugrats characters is that they don't have voice actors, world famous voice actors behind them giving them personality. See, that's the difference. you could name this doll anything you wanted her to be named, okay? And it would be just as valid as what someone else wants to call her. See, that's where the imagination factor comes in. That's a much better toy for a child to have, okay? But the Rugrats, you know, with their fixed name, their fixed identity, which people often argue about the facts surrounding them to this day, and it's just infuriating because, I mean, you could be forgiven for not even knowing that there was a second movie, let alone a third Rugrats movie. And yet these people will fight me to the death and try to say that she didn't crap her pants, in spite of the fact that no such scene as this ever occurred. Okay, there is no proof that there was not a pile of poo-dough, which I didn't put it in the doll's pants, but you can imagine what that would look like. You cannot prove to me that there was not a pile in her pants, so to speak. Okay, yet they just, you know, won't stop trying to gaslight me and, you know, try to tell me that I'm wrong and such. I mean, sure, I get it that she's not a real person, okay? Just as these dolls are not real people. You know, they don't actually have a GI tract. And I get that her voice actress is probably like me in that she wouldn't even fart, let alone more, without a toilet. But I digress. So yeah, it's just really infuriating because it's like, you know, these ugly characters that don't even have an eye color, you know, are causing people to dislike my videos and dislike me. And, you know, I just find it hard to want to get involved in the reboot because I feel like it'll just be more gaslighting and more, you know, revisionist history, so to speak. You know, they're going to change the show because I guess it wasn't gay enough in the 90s. You know, it wasn't, like, far enough to the left that they're going to make it even worse. And the other thing about the Rugrats is I feel like they were created to sort of blur distinctions in such a way that it would increase acceptability for things that people didn't accept and shouldn't accept. You know, such as, you know, there was a time, and to an extent it still goes on, you know, back in the 90s, boys did not like pink, peach, and purple, which I don't think they should, because that's an easy way to mark yourself as a female. Okay, so they decided to color Chuckie's glasses purple and Phil's shirt pink, just like Lil. And they also drew Chuckie in such a way that he looks to be wearing a dress. You know, if you look at his silhouette, he looks to be wearing a dress with those baggy shorts. And of course, Phil looks just like Lil. And, you know, Chuckie's hair is so long that, I mean, he could actually wear pigtails like Angelica. Okay, so I feel like they use the show to try to force people to accept things that they really didn't or shouldn't have accepted. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to push boundaries with this show and its subliminal hidden messages. Okay? And so in order to like the characters and enjoy, you know, all the pleasures of the things that came with them, you know, in order to have all these dolls and toys and all with the Rugrats, you had to accept things that you maybe wouldn't ordinarily, you know, just like with the Odd Parents, you know, Timmy and his pink shirt. And so as a result, they wanted to change the minds of kids and encourage effeminacy. I feel like the show was created primarily for boys, you know, to feminize boys, just like so many shows, and portray dads as useless idiots, you know what I'm saying? And make it more acceptable, you know, for girls to be more masculine in a sense, more domineering, more bossy, so to speak. You know, and look at how Angelica's leg warmers look like a pair of blue jeans under a dress. Not that there's anything wrong with blue jeans, but it was just a way to make her look more masculine. You know, they wanted to push the boundaries and see how bossy, how much of a bully can we make this character, yet she's still a cute little girl at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And people will actually defend her against me, of all things. So anyway, before this video gets too long, I'd like to hurry up and end it here and just say that I don't like what the Rugrats had to teach kids, and I do not believe that Angelica actually wore panties.